Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Have roll call?
Lois Tiley. Here. Diana Coots.
Here.
Christine Newman.
Here.
Richard Horner.
Here.
Jim McPhail.
Here.
Diane Dennis.
Here.
Sarah Tiley. Here.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Aye. We'll turn this off and just speak louder. I have one adjustment, it's just for communication and information only to go under commission and committee reports. It'll be holiday decorations.
Do we need to add that waste management thing?
Where do you want to put
we
that in?
got, yeah, later in the week?
We
The
could-
second thing we got from General.
The second package.
Yeah,
Do you want to toss it under H?
under H as
Under
well.
eight.
Oh, with the
The new
Mid-Michigan
Correct.
Waste Authority? So it's just part of that.
Yes.
Approval of the agenda. Your motion?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as adjusted.
All those in favor? Or support, I'm sorry.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public announcements. Anybody got anything they wanna yell about, talk about?
Yes, I do, Mr. Mayor, President. I ain't got a lot, no.
You got 3 minutes.
I'd like to request that I get Kenny's minutes tonight too.
Sure. He doesn't keep minutes.
I just wanna let you know that I quit doing this 6 years ago. And then somebody talked me into doing it again. And I don't know why I said yes, but I have thoroughly enjoyed it. You've been a pleasure to work for. You've been very supportive. The staff has been excellent. You have two of the best girls in the office, almost as good as Debbie and Chris. I had to put that in. Don has kept me straight. And I appreciate all of it, and this town has a little special spot in my heart because my eldest daughter graduated from here, and my youngest daughter started school here while I was here, so that's probably why I said yes, even though she twists pretty good. And I had just a couple, I'm not gonna call it constructive criticism, I'm gonna call it
Suggestions?
suggestions and ideas for you in the future. And do with it what you want, throw them away and let them go in one ear and out the other, whatever. But in my 90 days here, or 100 days, whatever it's been, I've worked with two ordinances that are very bad to work with. And I think they need your attention. And the first one is the weed ordinance. It's a generic ordinance. And the village of St. Charles is not generic. It's a very special place with a lot of unique situations. And I don't even know if you can cover them all in the ordinance, but there's not many towns that have this size, that have 3 rivers and a swamp and mountain woods and DNR stations. And 10-acre spots in between 2 new houses, and I mean, you got it all. And that ordinance that you have, you just cannot enforce. And the village is one of the biggest violators if you try to enforce it with the ordinance you got. Because you've got industrial park lots you can't mow, but yet you're telling other people to mow. You've got a street that runs from 52 clear to the west end of town, that's 66 foot wide and a mile long, that needs mowed. And you got 14 acres on the, between there and the river. And we're telling that guy to mow, but we haven't mowed our road. He couldn't get there if he wanted to in some cases. So it really needs your attention if you're gonna, or else throw it away, almost. The other one, I haven't had to deal with it a lot, but I've seen a lot of paperwork on it, and that's the dog ordinance. It's a very simple ordinance that tells you nothing, basically. And you gotta be very careful with it because, and if you adjust it, you should talk to the state of Michigan, and you should talk to the county dog warden's office. Because some of them things that we're trying to enforce aren't legal unless you have trained personnel on staff. So you gotta be really careful with how you put that together. And in its present condition, you can make it work to a point, but you can't do everything you wanna do. And then there's a couple other things that's just minor, but important. And you don't need to tell people yes or no at a meeting. You can say, we need a week or two to think this through and we'll address it at our next meeting. You don't have to give snap decisions, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to give the right answer. And to do that, you might need a month or 2 weeks to review the situation. And doing it quick is gonna get you in trouble someday. So it's important. And the other issue that some of you, and I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying some of you, try to solve every problem that a neighbor has. And that's not your responsibility. There's a civil court and there's civil action. You're not supposed to pick every neighborhood problem and try to solve the issue. They can go to court and let a judge do it. That's not what you're getting paid $40 for. And there's some you have to a little bit, but be careful. And again, don't jump into it. Think it through but in most cases, neighborhood difficulties are a civil case of some kind and the court can take care of it. And you guys don't have to deal with that stuff. And the most important thing that all of you gotta do is communicate. And if you do that, you have very little problems. And I'm not just talking to you guys, but with the staff, with the residents. Don't just 2 or 3 get together and try to solve something. If you think you got a good idea, bring it in and try to get 4 votes. But you gotta communicate, have a lot less problems. And that's all the little bit I'm gonna say. I didn't even take all of Kenny's time. He might be able to talk tonight.
Dennis, we'd like to thank you for the service that you've given us over the last 4 months, 3 months, and for the great job that you've done. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate your suggestions.
Yes, we will pay attention to them.
And again, as of today, I'm done coming here except for next Tuesday. I'm gonna take Hart to Spicer's and give him a tour and introduce him to staff there, which I think will help him in the long run. But I am available by phone. And I told him make a pile, and if it gets too deep, call and I'll come up and go through it with him. And so take advantage of me as much as you want. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Any other public commenters? If not, we'll move on. Spicer Engineering Report, not here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think you have a copy of my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. We have a number of projects out there. Feel free to ask me anything you like.
Okay, on your first page, you say at the bottom, you wanna wait until the new village manager is selected.
Yep.
Which we've done that. Are
Yep.
we working on that now?
Yes, we are. Yep, and we're gonna see some things moving forward on that, on the USDA rural development application. We'll see things moving forward on that pretty quickly here in the next, by the end of the year for certain.
How's the street project coming in the grant?
That is coming, we will be, the Scrap Tire Market Development Grant is due November 1st, and we will be meeting that deadline, so,
Does that take a special meeting of the council?
that does not take any resolution or any special meeting of the council.
You, I see we got approval for our stormwater asset management.
That is for the gap analysis that John Kazor put together that we submitted last January,
Oh, okay.
and we just got approval for it recently, so.
I
So-
liked it that they called it swamp, because that kind of explains it.
Well, and
Yep.
it's a long time to get an approval for a plan that said nothing.
Yeah, it was a review of your current sewer rates to see if there was a gap in your service, and there was no gap in your service. So that was good news.
Okay.
The Act 51 money for non-motorized.
Yep, that is, my understanding, that's all taken care of. Jen actually got approval of that, like, recently, and you're gonna do a, resolution on that tonight to finalize it. And that'll be good to go, and you'll be all set and back in compliance.
What is the likelihood that we'll get the, grant for the paving thing on the back, the last thing, you know?
It's hard telling. Last year, they did not give any grants for rubberized asphalt. There were about a dozen that submitted for it. All the grants went for equipment. So the general thought is, this year, they should be giving more money for rubberized asphalt. So, you know, we're keeping our fingers crossed that it's there. It's really hard to tell. So, some years they give them, some years they don't.
Would it help, because Union Court is there? Do you think that will have any influence on that?
I don't think that will really have an influence. What will have an influence is that it's part of a larger project. The village is already doing a water main project, and so this would be in conjunction with that. So that should give you some additional points, because, you know, it's part of a larger project.
Any other questions? Well, John, you're getting off easy.
Well, thank you.
Well, just keep plugging along.
Yeah,
Well,
Thanks,
Yeah.
John.
And as Dennis said, you know, Hart is gonna be down to, our office on Tuesday, you know, for a tour and kind of give you an update on a lot of the projects we're going on. If anybody would like to tag along, you're more than welcome to. I think the plan is for 10:30, is that right? So, 10:30 in our office, have a tour, talk about projects. I think we're gonna have some lunch brought in. Introduce Hart to one of our staff. So, if anybody's interested, feel free to come along.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, that'll come next month.
Council minutes approval for September 11th. Any questions on those minutes?
Can I ask you if arrangements were ever made to pay that water bill?
No. But he's paying.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the minutes of September 11th, 2019, as presented.
I support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So done. September 18th, minutes? Any questions?
What, did you have it?
No, your turn.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Wednesday, September 18th meeting.
Support?
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. September 25th meeting. Any questions?
Question? Make a motion that we accept September 25th meeting as presented to us.
Support?
I'll
second.
support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Commission and committee reports, EDA minutes from October 4th.
I would like to ask, what is a park walkway downtown? It says they want to pursue a park walkway. What does that mean?
That drawing that was in your packet a month ago, that showed,
Okay,
that was from up here, something like that.
Between Tony's and that other building. They're
With the
talking about putting a
pretend walls.
walkway through there.
okay, in the vacant area,
Down to
vacant
the-
lot.
to
Okay,
They'd
the
have to
alley
purchase
back there.
that, yeah, they'd have to purchase that
Okay.
building.
Again, they're just talking about it.
And it's a DDA project.
Yep. Something to work on.
It is.
Any other questions? I hear a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion, we file the minutes. Is it accept and file? Accept and file the minutes of the DDA.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
alright.
Opposed? Approved?
then we have holiday decorations.
Holiday decorations, so this is a 3-year contract that has been approved by the DDA and this board. But with changes this year, as some of the garland last year was hurting our trees. So rather than 26 wreaths downtown, they're going to provide 52 wreaths, LED lights on them, and leave off the garland so it doesn't hurt the trees and get in the way.
So they're still gonna do the little Christmas trees?
Correct.
When we attach the trees to the folded garland, we
It
gotta,
gets all messed up anyway, doesn't it?
well, they complain we couldn't get it
It
down.
looks like this.
Oh,
if
that
you
they
wanna
couldn't get it
pass
down?
that down.
Okay.
But we took it down and kind of called them and still have it out to the barn. It's probably not, the garland's probably not needed.
So we're having just wreaths? They didn't think of anything else?
About double the amount.
Double the amount.
Are they gonna
decorations.
be back-to-back wreaths? What do you mean double the amount?
So it's-
50 some up instead of 20 some.
Where?
Yeah, weren't they on every pole? They weren't on
No,
every?
no.
They'll be installed on every pole.
Okay,
They weren't before now,
And
Okay.
they're not doing
Every
the
other
trees
one.
this year?
something like
yeah, they are doing the
They are
trees
doing
underneath the
trees.
wreaths.
Okay. Okay.
Looks good.
Communications, Saginaw County Park schedule.
Okay.
Any questions, any information, and nothing?
I see they have something out at Ringwood on November,
7th?
yeah, 7th.
If the parking lot's fixed out there, cause right now you can't drive back there.
Well, it says cider and donut hike, so maybe you just have to walk in there and hike and
I,
find the donuts.
I don't know where
and
they're
the-
gonna find parking though, cause all the parking lot is completely blocked off because they
Huh.
had some issues with the parking lot.
Maybe they'll fix it.
I would not be interested in the snakes alive.
Can I ask what Snakes Alive is?
I don't even wanna know.
Oh, at the Freeland,
Just go, just go.
Freeland Sports
No.
Zone.
Oh,
Don't ask her.
What, you get one of those houses?
We used to have that at school and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Did you have to crawl on the ground like a snake?
No, but they passed them around and the kids, you know.
Oh, they had real snakes?
Real
Yeah.
snakes, yeah.
Oh, no.
no, I don't know.
Okay, let's move on to the haunted house liability insurance. Anything we need to know about that?
Well, we need to know they got some.
Yeah,
Just
that's,
let me know they have.
we just wanted to let you know that,
For information,
Yep.
okay.
and that we're named additional insured.
Yep.
All right. about the results from the water tower inspection?
This is just
Somebody got information on this?
summary, it looks good. The only thing that I saw that really immediate replacement might be the gasket at the top, but this is something to consider in 2021, 2022, when we're going after the bond to maybe include.
It's pretty good for 31-year-old tower. That,
I think overall it's in good shape. There's just
so when they fix it, will you tell them that we want it for 31 more years?
I think
Because
it'll
we
be
haven't
good.
done a whole lot to that.
So
have-
there's $55,000, estimated in the cost of fixing it, bringing it up to perfect, will it be like
Well,
perfect
and there's
again?
some additional things that you don't necessarily have to, up to 50,000.
Okay, and we're waiting why?
Well, like the cathodic protection, you can,
We thought, we had it done so that we have a number that we use for the bond issue, so we
Okay.
can include it in that project.
Okay,
Unless we found something that was urgently needed.
so this is
Yeah.
nothing that
No,
has to
it's
be
just-
done right away?
What is
No,
cathodic
It's
protection?
a cathode.
Yeah, they have them in water
Zinc,
heaters.
right?
corrosion control.
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
Alrighty. We'll file that. And, okay, Michigan Municipal League Board of Directors election.
We have until November 8th to make a decision. We'll need a motion and to be sent in.
This is one of those things I have absolutely no opinion on.
Well, I don't either, there's only one
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
The good news is there's only one person.
Yeah, exercise your right, just like in November and August.
We don't need no
So the
action on
manager,
it.
the
no
manager
action
can't
on
just
it,
do
so.
this?
No, takes a motion of the council.
Well, I make a motion, we vote for Gene
Steven,
Stegeman? Do you think it is?
One of you guys could get right in.
Stedman.
how about you?
Hey, you going to?
You?
No, I don't, no, no.
No, no. I don't think so, Donna.
So I make a motion that we have him vote for her and
Yeah.
send it in.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Board, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Payment of claims. Diane.
I make a motion that we pay the bills in the sum of $548,000.
Nobody has
May
any
I have a
questions? Wait a
question?
Wait a
minute.
minute, we got any,
Diane must not
I
have
bet
any
you
You didn't have
questions.
to, you guys.
we got her.
Just because she doesn't have a question this week. This is-
Question, Diana?
Yes, on the first page, and it involves three separate items. We have three consumers' energy bills. On the first page at the bottom, on the second page, on the back of the first page toward the bottom, and then one on the next to the last page, is 1, 2.
They send them in at different times, so we get quite a few of them all at one time, and then we get like 3 other little ones at a separate time, and then the streetlights at another time during the month. And then they're just, you know, their
We have a
dates.
lot of consumer calls.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know we do, but that just, I thought it was odd for, you know, there were two big ones this time, and I wondered how that had happened.
That was just, some of them, we had like little tiny, like $2 bills, and then a couple of them, that they might have been like pumps that ran a little bit longer, the lights, but, some of them we had barely, I think one I paid like 98 cents on. A couple of them we had $2 credits, and then the other ones were bigger, so.
So it's just their billing cycle.
Yes, yep, there's, the one comes separately all by itself, the street lights, and then there's a big group of them that all come, and then there's like 3 of them that are on a separate billing cycle, so you get it, and then a couple weeks later you get it, and then the other one.
Probably a separate one for this building and for the
Yeah.
DPW.
Yeah, every single location has its own bill. It's kind of
And then-
annoying that they come separate times, but just like our charter for, the guys out at the barn, they're due one day, and then ours here at the office is due another day, and then they've been sending it right before its due date, like I got one on Friday, that it was due 10/10. That was 10/4.
And then they charge you if you don't pay attention.
They've been doing that lately, so, and then it was
That's
dated
awful.
September 23rd, so it's like, we hurry up, try to get them back out in the mail, 'cause it's just,
Well, if they ever charge you a late charge, call them.
oh yeah.
And were you here for Christmas last year?
I
Do you know there's a a way to, that you have to count the Christmas
Yes,
lights?
yep,
Okay.
they send that, I think in February.
Yeah.
They send it after the fact, but yep, I did get that.
But the company will give you a count of the lights
Yes,
too?
yep, they send
Okay.
me a letter and I keep it and then I fill it out.
Fill it out and send it back to them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, also the next to last page, Saginaw County Treasurer for mobile data computer, what was that?
That's for the police cars, the, computers in there, so they send that, they sent that over to us. We had that bill last year too.
Okay, so that's for a year?
Yes, yep.
Okay, those are my questions, Diane.
Anyone else got any?
I
No.
make a motion, we pay the bills in the sum of $548,050.93.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. New business. Resolution 1913, authorizing the non-motorized transportation improvements.
I added up the amounts there and it adds up exactly, and I thought that was kind of interesting, so.
We're good at that. I was supposed to be all done, but I'm not. I forgot that item.
Okay.
Okay.
In your budget, you have $5,000 for sidewalks in Major Street and $5,000 in Muffle Street. And if you would spend that, you probably would never ever get a non-compliance in non-motorized transportation. And I think what you need to do, I shouldn't say that, you don't need to do it. Most communities do not charge residents to repair broken sidewalks. They budget money and they fix broken sidewalks, and that should be part of your non-transportation.
And that would count towards this
Yes.
then?
And you have a lot of it.
Right.
And you also have a couple spots where you got a 3-foot sidewalk going 50 feet, and then you got a grass, and then you got a 4-foot one going 10 feet and grass. Oh, one of those is in the 3rd year of the non-transportation, and that's on Hosmer.
Yep, on the house.
You got the assisted living, and the people can't come out of there and go to town because it's all grass.
Oh, because of that.
On the south side of the road, the sidewalk doesn't go by
So
Souls,
we,
that block, it doesn't go all the way through.
and then the what pieces there is all busted up. So we included that.
By Souls.
The 3rd
Oh,
year.
by Lisa's,
Yeah,
okay.
it ends about, I think, does it end in the middle of their lot or something?
Yeah.
There's about a half a
It does.
block that it's
Okay.
not
It's
there,
kind of a mess.
and then you'd be going,
We're gonna do those roads, and we thought that'd be a good 3rd year, but it would deviate from what you do, so
Okay.
you may
Something
wanna
we
make
should
a
Talk about
policy
a budget
work.
time then, is that something, you think that's a budget time talk?
Yeah, I think so, and I'm just suggesting that maybe on the repairs, you don't charge the 50/50, you fix them.
Okay.
On the new stuff, unless there's a extenuating circumstance like this one, you may wanna put that one in because it's servicing a commercial complex, but on new stuff, like a new subdivision or whatever, then if you wanna go 50/50, that makes sense. Otherwise, that $5,000 is gonna sit there every year, and then you'll get non-compliance in about 4 years, 5
Okay.
years. So just a,
Well, nobody ever used it. They don't wanna
Yeah.
pay, they don't wanna pay 50/50, they want it paid for,
they wanna
so.
take that money and put a new carpet in, or, I mean, I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, that's
the point.
understandable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a
It's a
suggestion.
good idea.
That is a good idea.
You'll remember that one.
We went over
'Cause
it
we
this
won't.
afternoon.
Okay.
He was 50-50 on whether he was gonna say anything about it.
Okay,
Turns out he was 100.
I didn't wanna go on a sour note, and I don't know how they're gonna accept it, but
well, I think that's fine.
There is somebody who sits on this council who became interested in government because of a sidewalk.
Well, that would be me. I was forced to pay for one I
Which is
didn't want
not
to.
you of all people should always pay.
I didn't work here yet then, it was just before I got the job.
Oh, okay,
It
Thank
was on
you.
Maple Street and
I'll
they
shut
made us,
up now for the night.
made us
No,
pay for a
thank you,
sidewalk at
Dennis.
school.
for that wisdom, cause I don't think any of us would have thought of that.
That is good.
So thanks a lot.
So back to this resolution. We need to have a motion to either pass it or pass it.
If you don't pass, you cannot pass it, but you'll lose your extra 51 million.
Yeah, I make a motion to pass resolution number 1913, okay?
I'll support.
Roll call?
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes.
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Hunter.
Yes. Moving on, resolution 1914 to amend water rates. Now, you got one for this, Dennis?
I'm
No,
done.
he's done. This'll be hard. Go ahead.
This goes on with the plan of the SAW grant and the changes made, suggested by John Kozer, is that how you pronounce it? Kazor, that the state says is fair and in order. So we would begin, in the March 2020 billing cycle with the changes that he presented last September 11th, last month.
Any questions?
Wait a minute. Oh, effective for March 2020. This is actually the thing that we passed last month, and now it's in writing in front of us.
Correct.
Okay,
In picking which cycle it starts in.
okay. So it actually is November to March.
Yeah, we didn't think it was fair starting after the fact, midway through.
Right. So we're gonna begin it in November.
Yep.
I make a motion, we pass resolution 1914 to amend water rates.
Support?
Second.
Lois seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Can you say you vote yes reluctantly, cause I don't. I know we have to, I know we
Yes,
have to.
go
but
ahead, say it, but
I
it's not
just
gonna
do
be
that
written anywhere.
reluctantly, but yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Resolution 1915 to amend sewer rates.
This is a reminder that we haven't raised rates on 15 years, and a lot of the infrastructure, or the, underneath us is from 1939 that was put in. If you remember the water main breaks over on Hosmer and what it looked like. I have photos in my office that I forgot to bring out here, but as you've seen in Flint and happening elsewhere, even in Birmingham, Michigan, everybody did the same thing underneath us, and this is to correct it and make sure that we are funded and can pay for changes in the future so that we're not another Flint situation.
But this is for sewer.
Correct, but this
Okay,
is,
sewer.
Wouldn't that be normal this start?
In sewer, are we not actually going backwards first and then forwards? Isn't it gonna end up costing less at first and then go
A
up?
low user could possibly.
Yeah, they could actually go under what they're getting now. But it is eventually gonna get back to.
Plus.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more of a usage-based ordinance.
and once again, it's the
Any
same
other
stuff we
que-
discussed last month.
Right.
Any other questions? Your motion to pass this resolution?
So moved.
Support?
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution 1916 to thank Dennis Collison.
I've got lots of things tonight, that's okay.
You don't have
cake
to
was
read
good.
it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's over there. Jenny, you read it.
Okay. Resolution 1916 to recognize and thank Dennis Collison for his time and talents as interim village manager of the Village of St. Charles. Whereas Dennis Collison came back to fill in as the interim village manager for the St. Charles Village, and whereas his time spent back in this community has been fast-paced and extremely productive, getting many items on the to-do list accomplished while making numerous residents happy, as well as council and the employees of the village. And whereas the members of the St. Charles Village Council, employees and residents of the Village of St. Charles are grateful for his knowledge and hard work. Therefore, it be resolved that the St. Charles Village Council hereby recognizes Dennis Collison for his service to this community and thank him for stepping in to help out when we needed him most. Be it further resolved that Dennis Collison was truly appreciated and will deeply be missed.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 1916.
I'll support.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's a roll call.
You have a roll call.
Oh.
Jenny put a roll call on this
Oh,
one.
instead of roll call on that one. Roll
Now
call.
I'll see who's winning.
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Jim McPhail.
Yes.
Diane Dennis.
Yes.
Sarah Tiley.
Yes.
And Richard Horner.
Yes.
no, Dick just has to sign it and stuff.
Are you sneaking out on us? Add Hartman Alley to all bank accounts. We need a motion to add him to all bank accounts.
Yes, yep, it just has to be in the minutes for Marguerite to take to the bank.
Do I hear a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
It's a roll call.
Oh, it's a roll call. You slide those in there, what's wrong?
Yes, yes.
I like to talk. Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Horner.
Yes.
A lot of roll calls here.
mm-hmm.
Motion carried.
This one's not.
That ought to take a couple of days driving around all the banks.
It did come from the Department of Transportation itself. It's really an odd setup, or you didn't make this up, right?
Which one? The,
The next one
Designation of
Street administrator.
that is
This is-
MDOT form.
is the standard form.
Yep.
Okay.
Resolution 1917, appointment of the DDA Executive Director.
We didn't do street.
That's next.
Hmm?
I don't see one for the
I don't
executive
either.
director.
I see, the next one I see, street administrator.
Oh, 1917. I must have flipped it over. I got it.
I got it, yeah.
I don't.
I thought we did that one. No official.
The
matter.
DDA, no, we did Dennis's.
I thought we did the DDA too.
Here.
DDA, 1917.
Yeah, they haven't done that.
That's the one we're doing right now.
19.
Jenny, did we do the DDA one or not?
We have not done that one just yet.
Okay.
We
So-
made Dennis that, but now we need to make Hart that for all the DDA reporting
Alright,
stuff.
we didn't then.
Do I
I
hear
make
a
a
motion
I make a motion, we, pass resolution 19-17.
to support?
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Roll call.
Lois
Yes.
Tiley, Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes.
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Horner.
Yes.
Oh, this is 1918.
Resolution 1918, designation of street administrator. Looks like we're appointing Hartman Howie as our street administrator.
Yes.
Is there a motion to accept this?
I make a motion, we accept resolution 1918 we passed to designate Hartman Aui as our street administrator.
I'll second.
Support? Well, is this a roll call?
No,
No.
Yes.
Actually, on the form it says yeas and nays.
Yes, it
Does
does.
it? Where?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
oh, yeah.
Sorry.
So you have to do your,
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Horner.
Yes.
The next one's a roll call too.
Now, I do have a question on resolution 1919. Is this something we prepared in the village?
MMWA sent this over for us to, fill in the village of St. Charles.
Yeah, because they put up here appointing trustee and alternate trustee.
mm-hmm.
And then they call it later, they call it constituent member and alternate constituent member. And anyway, if they send us this form, then we'll just do it as they say, but I thought if we did it, we should change that a little bit.
Yeah, and this was, we pulled the one that was signed last and it was the same
Same
exact.
thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Motion to accept 1919?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes?
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Horner.
Yes.
oh, that's just something she has to fill out.
No, the next one.
Next on the agenda, we inserted the waste management information.
I don't understand really why we got this, you know. Is there some reason that we get this? I mean, they're entering into a contract with a different company, right?
Yes,
Waste Management is.
yes,
And we just enter into a contract with Waste Management.
yes. And as part of the Mid-Michigan Waste Authority, we are in with the other municipalities in deciding whether this is okay for everybody else.
They need the approval of all the townships or
We have to
municipalities.
approve it in order for him to approve it.
Oh, okay. Is there any reason that we should not?
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. A lot of municipalities are looking to move in this direction. We're ahead of the curve on this.
Let me ask you, I guess I didn't look at this very well. Are we saying we're going to continue to recycle?
Yes,
What if they raise fees then? Because we talked about that, if they raise their fees, we didn't know whether or not we wanted to continue with recycling. So what if they raise fees in the meantime?
well, I think we can opt out.
Is it a 3-year at first and then can we get out of it after that? Or do they year by year?
It's a 3 years automatic renewal for one consecutive year after. We can terminate 30 days prior.
And don't miss it
Then-
because
Can
they'll
we-
renew automatically and you're stuck for
No,
another.
no, can
Within the
we,
current term,
can we get out if we give them 30 days notice? Anytime,
not any time before the current term.
really?
From what I read.
When is it due?
They'll be voting on it next Monday,
Next when?
Monday,
Oh.
14th.
I personally don't wanna stop recycling. Okay, I'm just curious, at what point will they decide it is not convenient to do that anymore? Cause they're getting really close to it right now. When I was in there, it was definitely a plus to recycle. Because it was cheaper to recycle goods than it was to dump them. Now it's more expensive to dump them than it is to recycle them.
More expensive to recycle than dump? Or
It's
dump?
more expensive to recycle than dump
Yeah.
it. It's cheaper to dump it than it
Yeah.
is to recycle.
What kind of components are we talking about?
Everything.
Everything, all the stuff.
And the reason
Well,
for
they're
the-
down to just two
Yeah.
plastics, paper, and, cans, and, do they still do glassware?
No,
They don't do
they
glassware.
just changed that.
Yeah,
When the woman had came in and talked to us before Marguerite went to the actual board meeting, the company they were looking at using was actually out of Traverse City. And it's a company that actually wants to get into it for recycling.
okay.
It's American?
I believe so.
American, I think is what it is, but she,
American Waste, Inc.
American Waste had made it sound like it's not going to be much more than what we're paying right now.
Okay, so they found a new company that does not use China.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep, it's gonna be going up to Traverse City. The second component that they were looking at the time was the trucking, and it sounds like that's
Okay, and
what
that
they
was
had just
down,
found.
that's down to just the recycling that we're doing now. No more 3/4 or 5s or,
It sounds like they might take a little bit more.
Okay.
We have to wait and see what they're gonna say. It sounds like maybe still no glass,
Does
but
that,
everything else.
I'm sorry, does that include appliances and stuff?
That's a
That I'm
different
not
thing.
100%
That's-
sure.
Well, it's
that's
still
a-
recycling. It's
no, that's not recycling. That's a separate contract that they have where someone comes along and picks up the appliance. You either call them or let them know and they send out a special truck that takes the appliance
But
away
that is that
to
through waste management? or-
appliance land. Yeah, it is through Waste Management, but it's just a separate contract that we had for appliances.
Do we pay for that service?
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you pay for it, but
Yeah,
not
you don't
individually,
get
it's
nothing
part
for
of the
nothing.
total deal. I don't think there's really that much charge to it, the people just come get it.
Well, normally they pick it up, bring it to us.
Well, okay,
That's why I was wondering. that-
yeah, no, but
because
that's
they
just
ain't
part of
even-
the
Most
main
of them, they
deal.
ain't even using this, you've got the regular pickers that go around picking up.
Well, and it's true, a lot of times you put stuff out and it's gone the next morning anyway,
Or
so.
sooner.
But yeah, you can only put out like 2 large items a week, and the appliance is a special truck, they let themselves know that there's an appliance out here and they come and get it.
Yeah, the only bad thing about that is right now that there's no value on that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the problem
None
with the whole
whatsoever.
recycling thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't see a termination clause in there, do you, Hart?
Other than the term of the agreement, which is, term of this agreement shall be for 3 years commencing on January 1, 2020. Automatically renew for consecutive 1-year terms thereafter unless either party provides the other party with a written notice of termination at least 30 days prior to the expiration.
Oh, well,
of that.
then that'll terminate it, wouldn't it? That would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just don't.
So
yeah,
at
I
the
really
end
don't
of the
see us
3
doing
years,
that.
we gotta do a 30-day ahead before that 3 years is up.
Or is
If we
it at
wanna
each
stop
year?
this.
I think you can do it at any time within the 3
Anytime.
years.
Well, Chesaning did it, and I don't think it was within the term of the contract, because they're the same contract that we have. They didn't end up doing that.
Well, what are you talking about, the village or the township?
The township not doing their recycling anymore.
The township is doing their recycling, the village is not.
Okay, so the village
They-
got out
the
of it.
village, no, the village is still recycling, but they're recycling, they're doing all their solid waste through, begins with a G.
Granger.
Granger.
Well, they found somebody else to do
They're
it.
separate.
So they got out of the contract and they went by themselves. So you can do it if you want to.
I don't think they're in MMWA.
They're not,
Did they quit? Okay, because they were.
they found a legal loophole.
Make an exception, what do you got to?
Oh,
I talked quite a bit with, the guy that drives the recycling truck. And here 3 or 4 months ago, they changed the way they was doing it. You had to keep stuff more or less separated. Paper went in one thing, and bottles and glass and that went into another portion of the truck. Now they throw everything together because they don't do the sorting at Back Roads anymore. They were hauling it to Lansing. If somebody in Lansing, they were throwing everything more or less like on a assembly line belt, and they had people picking off different things. This was a couple of months ago, the last I talked. I don't know if anything has changed from there.
Okay, the new company's out of Traverse City.
it's the same one you must have talked about.
They say they're taking everything, but you pay for the recycling. I was talking during the township meeting on Monday, they were thinking about maybe not taking glass because that adds weight, adds cost to what, you're recycling, because glass weighs a lot. And you're charging by the ton.
Per ton, $1.83 per ton.
It ends up in the landfill anyway.
Well,
Glass.
what they're using the glass for is to build roads in the landfill.
But you're in effect paying them to build their road if you.
Yeah.
To build their roads.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's right. You were at the meeting.
So we
Yeah.
don't recycle glass here? But don't we get thrown in with Taos Township anyway?
You recycle it, but it ends up in the landfill anyway.
Well, I know, but aren't we picked up,
Separately?
doesn't our stuff get mixed in with several other townships at the same time? Who's ever picked up on Friday, just kind of all goes in together,
I would
doesn't it?
think so,
Yeah,
but we're not picked up the same day as the township.
not this township, but
Right.
Thomas Township,
I think we're the same as Elby, I think, too.
LB2, Thomas Township, us. I forget how it used to go, but it was cheaper for us because we were in that group.
Yeah.
Because some groups are more expensive than other groups. So, I don't know, it was a long time ago that I was the vice president of
You
that.
can go to every other week if you wanted to save money.
Well, what's your pleasure on 1920?
Hold on, I like recycling, and I just wanna
I
say
do
a little
too.
soapbox here. I like recycling, I think it's a good thing, but I wanna know if we're paying for full recycling, if half of that goes into the landfill, because the recycling company already met capacity for what they can process. We're not doing anything to stop people from using the packaging and reducing it. I know that's not this board's problem, but we're not solving the problem, we're just paying more for another company to recycle 4 cups when we paid for 20 cups to be recycled. They can only process 4 pounds or 4 tons or 4 months worth, and we're giving them 10 times that capacity. We're paying for nothing. And we're not doing anything to solve the problem, and it's a worldwide problem. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, is that what you said? That it goes into the,
The glass,
Garbage.
at the township, they said the glass goes in the landfill anyway.
okay,
Yeah, and I know people that work
You
at the
pay-
landfills,
you
and
pay to
once they hit
recycle it,
capacity,
And then
everything goes to the landfill. They can only process so much.
It's not, then why are we doing it?
If I might, I was there for the whole, presentation last month. What she was explaining was that, they have companies here in Michigan that pay them for their processed recycled goods. So they're able to save on trucking for one thing, because they're not gonna be driving empty. They drive down with the recycled, goods, drop it off at, one of the factories, then they, pick up our loads and bring it up north. And basically, anything they can't recycle, they put in their own landfill.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's still, they recycle as much as they can because they can sell it.
Right, they recycle as much as they can, but are they telling us they're recycling 100% of what they collect from us? If we give them 100 pounds, are they recycling 100 pounds?
I guess that would depend on the quality of, the, items recycled.
the recycling center in Saginaw, did they close that down?
No,
No?
no,
Out there in the
because
middle
we're
of
still,
nowhere,
we
that's
just
still
started
open?
at the office, we started recycling and we'll be hauling it. They don't pick it up, we'll be taking it to them. Yeah.
Cause that's where all of our stuff used to go. And they recycled it on a table thing, they just went through and I was just curious.
Don, you said some places are recycling less, like every other week. Is there a
Some-
plus side to that, or not?
Probably saves you a little money, but the downside is people get confused.
Yeah.
Well, the downside is if it's every other weekend, you're never sure which weekend it is. That's what we do up north and everybody's running around going, is this recycle week?
You see your neighbor put it out and you rush out.
Yeah, and then everybody puts it out and there it
Oh,
still
they made a
sits.
mistake.
Yeah, yeah. It just takes one person to throw it out there and everybody else does.
Yes,
Sorry, I'm in Richland Township, and we have the every other week, recycling, and it's not a big deal. It's, just, check the website if you're not sure which one week it is. And if you put it out and they don't take it, well, then you just pull it out the next week.
yeah, but you gotta drag it back in.
I know, but was it
How
cheaper?
heavy is it?
Is it cheaper?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And she's right, you just go on their website, click your community and change what.
It tells you what to do.
I think we need to recycle. And my problem is
By the
that
sounds
we're
of
not
that, we
solving
need
the
to go
problem.
along with this.
Hmm?
By the sounds of that, we need to go along with it.
I think we do. If we don't have another option, I think we do.
I do have one question though, why do we have a 20 and a 21?
We gave you the 21 so that you can look at it for next time. They sent everything over all at once, but we can't have you approve 21 until they do their approval, but we wanted to send everything all together. So you'll get it again next week, but this way you got a full.
Month.
Because
Yeah.
they're alike.
You're not coming back?
They're spaced differently, but they're alike.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to approve their stuff on October 14th for us to be able to approve
So
everything
we're
on the
giving them
21st.
permission to
No.
approve it if we,
We're giving Hartman we're getting Hartford or something.
Yeah, but,
You're gonna go there and vote, right?
Correct.
any more questions on 20?
I'll vote as you wish.
I hear a motion to accept 1920. Or do we wanna do them both at the same time? Can we do them both at the
No, you
same
can't do
No.
it at the same time.
Can't get away with it, Rick, huh? Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept 1920? I guess if I don't hear a motion,
I'll
it
make
means
a
we don't wanna
motion,
do it.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1920.
Support?
Okay.
Nobody's too happy with
supporting
this,
it?
but,
Not happy about it at all.
no.
No, but we're gonna get garbage next week if you don't
Well,
pass something.
no,
like
but
that.
something's better than nothing. I mean, the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
The
in
world's
a
going
year,
to
in
pot.
a year, we could
we can
change our
discuss about
mind.
it, yeah, we
Yeah.
can,
This could be just a straight vote, right?
And I will add that some municipalities, because of the
Oh, no, it can't.
surcharge and the prices, are getting rid of it completely.
but then they've gotta find an alternative to
And you
pick
know
up
what
their
the
garbage.
alternative
and
is?
we haven't
And it's
discussed
probably
that
more,
option
we
yet.
don't know what it is, it's like
Right.
walking into a blind tunnel.
Right.
So
But I
we need
do
to
think
look at
that,
it better.
I think we should research that,
We can research it, we can
Yeah.
find out what the cost would be, a better way to do it,
yeah.
but you can't just drop it tonight and not have garbage
No.
pickup Friday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's vote on this. Roll call.
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Sarah Tiley,
Yes.
and Richard Horner.
Yes. Now do I hear a resolution, or a motion for resolution 1921?
no, that's
No.
next
That's
week,
next,
Huh?
next
that's
week.
next time.
Oh, we don't have to do that this week?
Nope.
Nope.
Should I just throw it in the slow?
Do you wanna hang on? I'll print you another one, but
Okay.
they sent it all in the packet and I was typing it up and I'm like, I'm just gonna send it over the way it is.
Okay. Moving on, the AKT Peerless Work Activity Change Order number 1.
So Carl came to the office this week and he said, we were hoping to, the next item on the agenda, or two down is the parking lot paving. We were hoping for some dollars left over from the grant to pay for that. He said the bad news is the additional fill is $11,884. The good news is it's done. They filled out the report on it and sent it to the state. The state had 180 days to audit it and did not do so. They did send a letter yesterday, or it would've been Monday, asking for an extension to audit us. I said, I did not respond. I don't know if you've dealt with the state often, but how often do they give you to extend anything that you want to?
Good
So
thought.
I didn't respond, it's a done deal, the dig is over, and I didn't send the letter. So the bad news is the additional fill costs a lot. The good news is that the watering and disposal of groundwater was about $6,600 less than we thought, so, it's still a $17,000 bill. The extra dirt, they went lower rather than wider, and of the two, the contamination was not found, and the report is done.
I have two sheets of paper. One says 20,185.72, and the other one says 17,214.71. So which is the correct bill there?
I have the 17,214.70.
I do too. Read it what you got.
It
This
came
was
in
the-
something, and it was
This
in
was
my
that bill that I
packet.
got.
That's
I don't think that bill was.
That's from the 18th.
I think that came in the second packet.
This was a statement, a bill that I got from AKT Peerless, the
Okay.
$20,000 one.
Okay,
So that came after we had gotten this, so this was the actual billing.
so he's billing us for 20,000 then, right?
Yes.
This is just a change order
But you
to
know
our
what
original contract.
bothers me is there's a date of September on the higher amount and a date of October the 2nd on the lower amount. And that, to me, was very confusing on that.
I can see how that would be confusing. I was discussing the October 2nd amount, where the fill material was increased by 492 tons. So that's the
So
bill I'm
which-
discussing.
See, we've got two.
This is-
and-
If I can speak up again, I wouldn't pay Fearless anything. So we get a final sheet of everything and how much is left and where we are in the grant process.
This is a change order.
That's just.
This
a
is
change
not a
order.
bill.
Right.
I'm just making you aware
Yeah,
of it.
so we're approving the change order,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
I don't know about the bill,
I would,
Yeah,
I would hold that.
because I bet,
So,
Okay.
do you think this bill is part of what we think we already spent?
I don't know. So it's-
Yeah, you have to ask him,
Yeah,
because this
We
is
have to
dated
find out with
September.
Carl, because we received another bill today that was a significant amount of money, $109,000.
What?
So we are looking into that.
Which I think is part of the state stuff too, so.
Okay,
What,
Think
what,
it's
to
what,
straighten it out.
what if we put all this together and table it for now?
We can table it for a month, I think would be the.
I think we should make a motion to table this and the
Yeah,
new
because-
one.
He tabled us for a long time.
Yeah.
This guy did.
Yes.
Oh, that's
table
what
it,
she did
yeah.
better.
There's
Do I
no
hear a
problem-
motion to
Sorry.
table it till the next
There's no
meeting?
problem doing the
Yes.
change order, I don't think.
I make a
That-
motion
that's
to
a
table
fact.
AK
I know.
Fearless till the next meeting.
Support?
I'll second.
Oh, they tabled it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Bring us some new information next week.
I will.
Tell him we got confused.
I have a
Yeah.
quick question.
The bill today was,
Tell them my beard's getting warm.
I have a question.
yes.
Dennis, you mentioned this, I don't know if they did it or not, but they were going to check to put in a fan, are
We're
they?
still working on
They're
this.
still
Okay.
working on it. He did discuss it, but he wouldn't give a price. He didn't wanna be quoted. But he said, looking like $5,000.
Okay.
I'm a little bit less than happy with them, let's put it that way, through this whole process.
Oh, yeah.
It'll
be done 2 weeks.
Moving on.
don't see him for 6 months.
Setting the
Yeah,
trick or
he would
treat
show up.
hours, minutes, most of the time.
Was
What we-
last
what we
year
been doing
five-
in the past year?
5:30 last year, or was it
5:30?
5:30?
5:30 to 7:30.
Yep, that's what we looked back the last couple of years
Yeah.
it was.
Those sound satisfactory?
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
Do you hear a motion to that effect?
I make a motion, we set trick or treat hours from 5:30 till 7:30.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Opposed?
It doesn't.
We need a second.
Do we need a
don't we?
second?
Need support?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
It's on Thursday.
I thought it
Aye.
was Friday.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Oh, it is then.
It
Motion's
doesn't affect
carried.
me. I'll be in the Caribbean on Halloween.
Parking lot paving.
Trick or treat to you.
What do you have, Hartman?
So we have two proposals here. One for the front here all the way to the fire station was gonna cost about, what, $41,000. The second one came in at $18,000.
Wow.
And he can do it this year, and the other one can't do it.
And if it's
And
approved,
they're
if it's approved tonight, I will be
the
calling
same?
first thing in the morning. It is for the front side, part one and part two. That said, we're hoping to have $8,000 left over from the excavation. I was looking into Metro Act money from the state of Michigan, which came back and we received $8,617 this year. So that would be a little over 16,000. I would be asking Don and his crew to scrape everything out, get it cleaned up quickly. We don't want a muddy mess and try to get this done this year.
We would remove the asphalt.
Now, what, you're talking phase one?
And two.
And two.
One and two, the front part, next to the road.
South side, the whole south side of the building.
Okay.
All the way across.
And we're gonna
How
scrape it,
far
we're
back
gonna
does
get
that
rid of
come
this.
on the
And
end?
we're gonna get rid of the bushes,
That's
we're gonna add
phase
Right,
two.
drain tile.
Where are you gonna put it?
Just need
Phase
those
one
straight.
is 112
No, we
feet.
can,
Can you use it?
Rainwater will take it and recycle it, we gotta haul it.
But this is phase two,
Heck
and
yeah.
that's phase three, right?
You don't think.
The drawing is a little
He
confusing.
was willing to buy it.
But it's all this
He
part,
was
It's
willing
this
to
whole
buy
front
it.
part,
You gotta get it.
all the way up to the
Huh?
fire station.
correct.
Okay.
No, I said he was
Because
willing
it
to
says
buy
phase
it.
one or two.
We'll talk to him about that.
What is the matter?
Yeah, cause he asked me about it, if he could get it or buy it.
Really?
Okay, I need somebody to
Okay.
explain this to me,
Okay.
because I'm not happy.
Just keep
with
that
what
thought
I
in
got.
mind when
Okay,
you deal
now
with
how far, you're going to
whoever
go to the
deals.
front, how much of the side will be done?
None.
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 We're gonna let that off digging.
It needs to settle, that's a
Here.
492 ton.
But you're considering
Check.
that as
So-
front, over here.
Front of the building,
It's 35.
out to the road.
187. So it's this strip like this. We're not doing anything over here, they're gonna let that settle. This is the front of the
By the
building.
fire department,
It
right?
butts up to the fire
That's the
department,
front of our.
their pad there.
Okay,
So it's gonna come right straight like this.
let's see, it says phase 1 or 2.
And then over here it says
Confusing.
phase two, I think it's this to
So,
this.
so we're looking at this strip over there,
Yes.
All of that to be phase one.
okay. And that is $12,900, right?
18,000.
18,850 right here, or the one you
Right here, down the
said.
bottom.
18,850.
Okay,
See the one you
alright. Yeah, I know it's confusing.
I
The
didn't-
drawings there.
Even I didn't quite get it, so I came in.
Cause I thought that,
So if you look
I
at
didn't
the
quite
18,850,
understand this bid.
it says 35
Remember?
feet by 187 feet. So the 35 feet is from the village office down, and the 187 is all the way over there. All the way up to the fire side.
To the slab, yeah.
okay, but that's part of what I would consider.
And some of the
side.
And then, so
Confusion
the
was-
other side of this building will be dirt,
It'll be left.
Oh, half of it is.
well, until it
Yep.
So we
settles.
can get it settled down, yeah. If we did it this year, next year, it'd be, have a big hole there.
Yeah.
We don't wanna do that.
And this company can do it right now, right?
This year they did, so.
And are they reputable, and do we think they'll do a good job
They're
for
the
us?
company
They
that
did the lot behind the Secretary of State's building.
Oh, that's
did
okay.
that lot.
Have you used them before? Well, I see that they're from Imlay City.
Oh.
You could read that, you could read that right there.
Look how
Yeah,
much
I
I
see
saved, yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gonna remove this old stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Will that take a long
that's why I
time to
wanna know if you
do?
knew them.
Do I hear a motion to accept
A day
this
or two,
bid?
probably,
Oh.
if we can, nothing comes.
So it wouldn't be too
Well,
cold.
it's a
what we
lot
need,
better than
right?
the other bid anyway.
It
so-
is.
If you approve it, we'll
We've
get it
used
done,
pyramid
that's all
before.
there's to
I've
it.
Yeah.
never done
Okay.
that before.
That
The way
is
it's gonna
terrible.
be. Something else might not get done, but then we do that.
Yeah,
So we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's really, that needs done though.
you need a motion.
Yeah.
Is there a motion out
Did you already
there
make
to
one?
accept this bid?
I'll move that we accept the bid of TG Prize,
Freeze.
Prees, for $18,850 to pave the front part.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
I,
Those opposed? Motion's carried.
Or, are they gonna put down two 1.5-inch strips?
That's what it said, I think.
It does say that, I'm just curious. So it's gonna be 3 inches of asphalt.
Mm-hmm,
Wow,
yes.
okay.
And you said there'd be
That's
drainage
extended.
on part?
It's not though, it's what we put on the road.
Really?
3 is thick for the road.
And then different.
Because
I will add
That
that
was 4 inches.
Dennis spoke with somebody, was it at the garden place, who did you speak to, about a video showing what we could redo in the front, maybe with
John
landscaping.
from North Town.
do
Yeah.
that
John Dusick.
at Favors.
Yes.
Yeah,
I showed him what I wanted and he was gonna put it on video and he hasn't got back to me.
yeah.
But you want it to look like the dentist's office.
Similar to Westerfeld's dentist office, the front of that this year.
Man, that don't
I don't remember how that looked.
That's nice.
It's got flowers and
You think I would know
Yeah,
it?
it is
I
very
think the
pretty.
1 week I was there
It
5
is
times
pretty.
in 1 week with my kids.
I'm for that. How much they gonna run us?
It probably
I
would
don't
be
know.
spring before you do that.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
the DPW is gonna do it, so it'll just be the cost of the plants, I would think. Other than their,
Yeah, we're gonna tear everything out.
are you gonna put it back in?
Depends when we, how you approve it. Cause we gotta put some drainage in.
They're not gonna plant, they're just gonna pull out?
They're gonna rip and tear and we'll let somebody knows what they're doing for it back.
We-
Oh,
we
like a
gotta-
club, like a nursery. With guarantees.
So we gotta do some drainage work in front of the building.
Yes, we do,
So,
yes,
We had a leak the other day in Rob's office. So
yes.
rain-
It shouldn't be too much
It's
work
always
to
been
pull
there.
all that
Oh,
stuff
that
up out
leaks
there,
there.
because I think I could go and take a fingernail, we were out there one day in the end, and lift up stuff, because it's so, that part's not
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
bad.
rough.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Uh-huh.
Municipal analytics invoice approval. What is this?
This is the final bill, from John Kaiser.
yeah, we had approved that earlier, so that's just a matter of paying the bill, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we paid him 1,500, it looks like, now against the
Right.
rest of it.
Just making you aware of it.
Yeah, okay,
So that's good news.
We need a motion on that one?
I don't think so.
We already
It'll be in the
did
bill
that.
sometime.
Yeah, it's just informational.
Yep.
Old business, update on the DDA reporting requirements.
Good news is Jenny and Dennis took care of it, they made it on time. Last hearing, last meeting, we had the hearing, the public hearing, so everybody could hear it, what they've done over the year to meet the state's requirements, and we'll have another hearing at the next meeting, I believe it's November 1st, with the same information for the public that may want to hear it, but that, all the state requirements so that we are official.
That's good.
So it was done here in our office then.
Other than that, no actions required. Departmental reports, DPW report. Any questions of Don?
So the fire hydrant that was hit, that construction company's paying for that, all of that?
Oh, yeah, they'll get.
Okay, good.
No, we're not gonna pay for it.
I was gonna say.
We got a guy coming out to look at it, see if he can re-lead the fitting in, if not, we'll have to maybe replace the whole thing, so.
Any other questions?
John did make an accident report on it, so we got
Perfect.
all the information we need, so.
When's the last brush pickup?
Next month, I don't know.
All right.
November's the last. Is that true, Jenny?
Yes, April through November.
Yeah, she actually had a new website, has a nice post on there.
Okay, is it up and running?
It is amazing.
Okay.
It is so easy to use.
But it clearly explains the brush rules and hopefully people will use it. It looks nice.
What's the name of it?
STCMI.com.
Okay.
It's the same address, isn't it?
Yes, yep, it's
I
just,
just wondered if they had changed that.
No,
Nope.
Different
It's the
tab.
same web address.
Be nice if you threw that in the paper so that people could look it up.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
Website.
Our new
A
website,
a revamped website.
new and improved.
STMI.com.
STCMI.
STCMI.com.
STCMI.
Thank you.
More user friendly.
We'll see what I can do.
You just gotta put it in the article somewhere.
Probably news briefs.
What, guys?
Peter, it's not 8:15. Go ahead.
Police department report. Any questions of John?
Can we ask about the
Chief?
arrest for the ongoing investigations?
I think that was a, I'll have to look at it, but, was it one arrest or
It said
warrant?
two persons were arrested regarding ongoing investigations.
That must be warrants.
Yes.
It is warrants.
Yeah.
Okay,
Obtained
arrest
arrest
warrants,
warrants
okay.
for 2.
Yeah, one was someone tried to pass a bad check over here at Mercantile
Okay,
Bank,
wow,
and I think the other
Go
one.
to a bank.
the bank.
All the places to go.
I wanna see what type of calls they got.
And
Do that kind of
he
thing.
brought his ID and
We
did it
used
on
to get
video.
I'm gonna ask.
It's nice of him.
Well, that's kinda cut and dry.
Well, you know, when you read a lot of police reports, you see a lot of that, though. I think a lot of criminal activity is not very well
Exactly.
thought out.
Well, they
I
tried
wanna
to-
know where our money's
They
going.
tried to stall him and
I was
he
gonna
said,
ask
okay, that's
you,
okay,
because
he
I
pulled the
have
check
all
back
the-
and it didn't matter,
So
once
we
he
need to
attempted
know,
to do it,
like, an
he's
audit
just
of
as
it?
guilty as if he'd done it, so. And I think the other one might have been there was a domestic thing, I'd have to look it up.
I just wondered what that was.
I had a question. If you look back, 2.5, 3 years ago, we used to have a list and we knew who was working. We used to know the people.
Yeah,
Every month, we got this report, I think Barry did it, and you knew how many tickets,
Each
what
person.
everybody did, how many reports, how many this, how many that. I wished I had saved them all, I don't know if you can retrieve them or.
But that was per officer. It showed what officer.
Well, it had the list of officers and all that they did.
And each one did.
I remember it was for, I remember we had it for traffic tickets, it wasn't for, well, maybe it was for reports.
It
too.
was for
It
reports
was.
too.
It
Cause I mean, it
was.
shows that we handled 160 calls, but I wanna know what these calls are.
I can include those, most of it is, just, radio calls, it breaks it down.
That report we used to have was very good though.
Yeah.
And it had
This doesn't tell me anything.
I mean, cause I know I assisted you on a call.
That medical, yeah.
Yeah. But like, that's what I wanna see. I wanna see what we're doing.
I can, either try to find out what the way the old, format for what Barry did, or make up a new one, or I could just start including, cause, with the, monthly stats, I get 2 sheets of paper, one of them's really, or 2 graphs, one of them's really hard to read, and one of them spells it out per incident. It doesn't tell you who handled it though, it just tells you how many calls, what type of calls we went on, and how many of them.
It doesn't tell you like the dates that they were or anything.
Don't think so, no.
Well, I've asked for this a few times before in the past few years. That told us a lot more than, the report now. And another thing, I just wanted to clarify, of course, we have the chief of police, and we have 1 full-time person. And do we have in, January of 18, we created a position where it was a 30-hour police person? Would we have that now?
Well,
And then 3 part-times?
I thought the January of 18, I thought that was a full-time for Ashley.
Right.
It was.
But
40
then that
hours.
went away.
Yeah, but we took the 30
But
hour
we
and
did
made
a,
it.
we made a 30-hour position at that time also, where we had the chief, and then the 2 full-time, but that went away, the 1 full-time. But is that 30-hour person still with us today?
We have an officer that works 30 hours, pretty close to what we
I
were.
know, I see that, they worked 3 in the past month or month to come, 3 30-hour weeks and 2 40-hour weeks. If that person were to work a lot of 40-hour weeks, do then we have to pay them more, or how's that working? How's that work?
We're not supposed to go over, the part-timers are not supposed to go over 30, my understanding is, they're not supposed to go over 30, regularly.
Regularly, okay,
Yeah,
but
because then
that
they can
person
get
did
Obamacare and
do
stuff like
2
that.
40-hour days in the month.
Are
Yeah.
those being approved then by you, or
What's that?
are those over 30 being approved by you then, or are they just,
Yeah, they are.
okay.
Is that court time or is that added up?
No, it's just, she would work 40 if we let her, but, she's, I have to kind of pull her back a little bit, but some days when, I like not to have an open shift, on some days. Mondays, Sunday nights, Mondays, I'm not too worried about it, but Fridays, Saturdays, I really don't wanna have an open shift, an open night.
I see, maybe I missed this person, but I saw a new name I didn't know that worked 1 time. And then we had 2 people work the month for 10 hours, just 1 shift.
Yeah.
Is that a new person, Crooks?
Crooks, no, well, he's been here for a while, but he, I don't think he's worked more than 50 hours since he's been here.
Don't have his heart in it.
See, in the last 2 or 3 years, we need to know some of these
That's
things.
something I was gonna talk about. We have a meeting with our labor attorney tomorrow, and it's kind of something I like to address in the contract, if we can.
We just like to know how things are.
Right.
Thank you.
One. Never mind. Any other questions of the police chief? Let's move on to the building inspector report. Got a few to this if we get a month again.
I'd just like to point out the demolition at 820 West Bell.
Yeah, I seen the work going on
I
there.
saw that going on.
Are they tearing down or are they remodeling?
They are redoing it.
It looks like they're trying to remodel it.
Yeah,
I think they're taking the siding off.
He pulled a demo permit.
Did he?
He did pull a demo.
Yeah.
Don't you think they had to pull that asphalt up? Would that be asbestos, that stuff that was on the outside of that? Cause that's what's gone now, it's that old slate stuff that was on old houses.
Probably.
It's like, yeah.
It looked like they took that
Looks
off
like sales
first.
tax, but it wasn't.
No,
But
it's-
he did pull a demo permit and it's
Okay.
going
I
back.
saw the demo permit.
What? Deck two?
Next house, or a couple houses.
Oh, see, the numbers are too close.
Pardon?
Oh, my brain just wasn't reading 208, or 802 and 820
Oh.
correctly.
This is the old Clark House, I think.
That's what it says, Clark.
Yeah, Clark House. Any other questions on that? Code enforcement, none. Any more public comment? You got
I
3
used
minutes,
your hours.
Mr. Coots, that's the
I
mic,
used your minutes.
3 minutes.
I didn't understand what Mr. Carlson asked for when you first stepped up there about the extra minutes. And you now, yes, and grant Mr. Carlson 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Coots. Any other public comment? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?